bigger than that.
Oh, it's much, much bigger than just insurance. UNH is actually one of the largest healthcare companies globally,
Yeah.
based out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Globally.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to give you a real sense of scale, founded back in 1977, it's grown to be the world's biggest healthcare company by revenue, consistently right up there at the top of the Fortune Global 500 list.
Okay, so top tier.
Absolutely. And it's not just about being big in terms of dollars. It's about holding this really foundational spot within the whole system of how healthcare gets delivered and paid for.
The largest globally by revenue. That really does put it in perspective. But does being that huge also make it, I don't know, maybe a bit slow, harder to adapt compared to smaller, maybe nimbler players? And how does it manage that kind of reach across so many different parts of healthcare?
That's a really key question. And the answer lies in its structure. It's quite unique, very integrated. UNH manages its wide reach through 4 main divisions, and they often work together, interconnected.
Okay.
So first, you've got UnitedHealth Care. That's the part most people think of first. The health insurance side.
Right. The insurance cards.
Exactly. Providing plans for, well, almost everyone.
Yeah.
Employers, individuals, through the ACA marketplaces, Medicare Advantage for seniors, Medicaid for lower income folks, even internationally. They are a massive payer handling billions in claims.
Millions. Okay.
But then there's the Optum division, and Optum is really where UNH differentiates itself strategically. It's where a lot of the long-term value story is. Optum is this very sophisticated tech and services platform, often works more behind the scenes.
Optum.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear that name tossed around a lot in healthcare news, but I'm not sure I ever fully grasped what it does. It sounds like it's kind of the engine room for UNH.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And Optum itself is broken down into 3 main parts, each doing something different. You've got Optum Health.
Okay.
This part focuses on actually providing care, direct care delivery, wellness programs, think doctor groups, urgent care clinics, even virtual visits. It's a big move towards vertical integration.
So they're not just paying for the care, they're delivering it too.
Precisely. Which potentially lets them control costs better, maybe improve how care is coordinated.
Interesting. What else under Optum?
Then there's Optum Insight. This is all about the data. Analytics, software, consulting services. They sell these to other players in healthcare hospitals, clinics, even other insurers.
Helping them run better.
Basically, yeah. Helping them operate more efficiently, manage their data, make smarter decisions. And of course, this gives UNH incredible insights into the whole healthcare landscape. Plus, it's a big revenue stream itself.
Makes sense. And the third part.
And finally, Optum Rx. That's their pharmacy benefit manager, or PBM.
The PBMs. Always controversial.
They certainly are. Optum Rx handles everything related to prescriptions, fulfillment, mail order, but critically, formulary management. That means they decide which drugs your insurance plan covers and how much you pay.
So they negotiate drug prices.
Exactly. They negotiate with drug makers and pharmacies. It's a huge lever for controlling spending, and PBMs have become these really powerful middlemen in the whole drug supply chain.
Wow.
So what's really fascinating when you step back is just how integrated this whole thing is. UNH isn't just your insurer. They might also be employing your doctor through Optum Health, analyzing the hospital's data via Optum Insight, and managing your prescriptions through Optum Rx.
That's a lot of touch points.
It really is. This integrated model is seen by many analysts as a massive competitive advantage. It creates efficiencies, gives them enormous data leverage. They touch almost every single part of the system.
That deep integration insurance, care delivery, analytics, pharmacy benefits, it does sound strategically powerful, almost like a closed loop. But when you look at a company that massive, that complex, the financials must be just staggering. Our sources give us a snapshot, but they also show some, well, surprising recent volatility for a company that seems so dominant.
Absolutely. The numbers really tell a story, both of the scale and the recent market mood. For 2024, you're looking at revenue around $400 billion.
Billion, with a B.
With a B. Net income around $15 billion. And by 2025, they're projected to have something like 400,000 employees. Just a huge operational footprint.
Incredible.
For investors, there's also a decent dividend yield, roughly 3.2%.
Okay.
But here's something that was notable even before the latest news, and our sources pointed this out. Its forward PE ratio, price to earnings, was sitting around 12 times earnings.
12x. That sounds low for a healthcare giant, doesn't it?
It was below its peers in the sector. And for a value investor, that often signals one of two things. Either potential undervaluation, or the market is pricing in some serious challenges.
So The numbers look huge, massive revenue, good income, tons of employees, a dividend. But then you mentioned volatility, and the stock being down, was it 46% year-to-date in 2025?
Roughly 46% down.
That's an enormous drop for a company like UNH. That's not just a little market correction, is it? That suggests something really fundamental was making investors nervous.
No, definitely not minor. A drop that big in a blue chip name like this, it tells you there were very real underlying issues that had investors seriously rethinking things. It signaled that despite the strong revenue and that integrated model, some serious headwinds were blowing. A real cloud of uncertainty.
So what were those headwinds? What explains that really dramatic stock performance? Clearly wasn't smooth sailing. Our sources highlighted a few major problems buffeting the company.
That's right. UNH was definitely navigating some very choppy waters, a whole mix of pressures, one big one, intense regulatory scrutiny,
Regulation. Always a factor in healthcare.
especially with Medicare Advantage. The company has been facing both criminal and civil investigations, focusing specifically on its Medicare Advantage billing practices.
Can you unpack that a bit? What's the issue with the billing?
Sure. So Medicare Advantage plans, they're private plans paid by the government to provide Medicare benefits. The government pays them based on how sick their members are, what's called risk adjustment, based on medical coding.
Yeah.
The investigations often look into allegations of upcoding, basically, making patients seem sicker on paper than they really are, which would lead to higher payments from the government.
Right, getting paid more per patient.
Exactly. And that kind of legal overhang, it creates huge uncertainty, not just reputationally, but there's the risk of massive fines, potentially billions, which can weigh on a stock for a long time.
And it wasn't just legal threats, right? They also had some direct financial hits.
Precisely. In the second quarter, their actual net income fell by 40% compared to the year before.
40%, wow.
Yeah, a big drop. And it was largely blamed on rising medical costs, people using more healthcare and booking reserves for future liabilities.
So costs went up, profits went down.
Right. And as a direct result, UNH actually lowered its earnings per share, or EPS, guidance for 2025. That's their own forecast for future profits.
And that's always a bad sign for the market.
Always. It tells investors management sees trouble ahead, and it almost always triggers a sell-off as analysts cut their own forecasts.
And then adding to all this financial and regulatory pressure, there were some incredibly difficult, tragic events involving leadership too, weren't there?
Yeah.
That kind of instability must have been really unsettling.
Yes, tragically so. The CEO of their main health plan division was killed. A terrible human tragedy, first and foremost.
Oh.
And that loss was followed by other organizational shifts, management changes. While dealing with the human impact from a business perspective, this adds another layer of instability and uncertainty for a huge organization like UNH.
Yeah, new leadership takes time to settle in, set direction.
Exactly. All of which adds to the list of worries investors were tracking. It created this sense of maybe just too many unknowns piling up at once.
So how does a company that big, that complex, manage all of that hitting at the same time? Legal, financial, tragic personnel changes.
It's an immense challenge. It really speaks to the pressure cooker environment of running a major healthcare company, where the stakes, financial, regulatory, human, are just incredibly high.
It sounds like trying to steer a giant ship through a hurricane while the engine room is being audited and there are changes on the bridge. No wonder investors got spooked. So where does that leave UNH's future? You've got this essential behemoth facing serious problems, but then just today, boom, a massive curveball. A very famous name makes a big move.
This is really the pivot point, the thing that just reshaped the whole conversation almost overnight. Remember we mentioned that low PE ratio, hinting maybe the market was overlooking some value?
Yeah, the 12x multiple.
Well, today that hint became a roar. Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's company.
The Oracle of Omaha himself.
The very same. Renowned for finding deep value in solid companies. They disclosed a major stake in UNH.
Okay, major stake. How major are we talking coming from Buffett?
We're talking about $1.6 billion worth.
Wow. Billion again.
Yep, representing about 5 million shares. And when Buffett invests, the world pays attention. Not just because of the dollar amount, but because it's seen as this huge vote of confidence.
He's not known for quick flips.
Not at all. He invests for the long term, in businesses he believes have strong, durable, competitive advantages, moats, as he calls them, and intrinsic value that the current stock price doesn't reflect.
That is a staggering amount of money
Yeah.
and just a huge signal from that investor.
Yeah.
What did the market do when that news hit, especially after UNH had been beaten down so much?
The reaction was immediate and strong. As soon as that filing became public, UNH stock just surged. Jumped somewhere between 11 and 14% in basically one trading session.
Just like that.
Just like that. It wasn't a small bump. It was a major move upwards, fueled by the collective thought. If Buffett sees long-term value here, despite the problems, maybe we should take another look.
That's a massive jump for such a large company, especially one that was down 46% just before.
Oh.
So, okay, beyond the immediate pop in the stock price, what's the deeper meaning here? Is Buffett automatically right? I mean, even he's had investments that didn't pan out perfectly, especially in complicated sectors like healthcare, right? What does this tell us about sentiment versus fundamentals?
That's a fair point. No investor hits 100%, not even Buffett. But connecting this to the bigger picture, his move acts as this incredibly powerful counter-signal to all the recent negativity.
Right.
It strongly suggests that despite the challenges we just laid out, the investigations, the earnings dip, the leadership changes, he believes the underlying strengths.
The core business.
Exactly. The durable competitive position, that integrated model we talked about, and the potential for the value to recover. He believes those outweigh the current noise and headwinds.
So he's seeing the dip as an opportunity.
It certainly seems that way. It's a statement that he likely views that 46% drop not as a sign the company is broken, but as an overreaction by the market, creating a chance to buy a quality business at a discounted price.
And that forces everyone else to rethink.
Pretty much. It forces the market to ask, was this storm really going to sink the ship, or was it just a rough patch for a fundamentally sound, essential company? That kind of conviction from that kind of investor can really shift the narrative and attract other long-term money.
Okay, so we've unpacked UNH, what it is, its huge scale. We looked at the very real, significant struggles it faced recently. And then we watched as this titan of investing placed a massive, multi-billion-dollar bet. What really stands out to you, the listener, about this whole picture?
For me, what really stands out is just how dynamic even these massive established companies can be, and how much external validation, like a Buffett investment, can just change the mood music.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap up the key takeaways for you, UNH is, without doubt, a huge, deeply integrated healthcare company. It does insurance, pharmacy, analytics, even direct care. That comprehensive reach is its big advantage, but also sometimes a source of its complexity, the situation it's been in. It really highlights the kind of pressures any big company faces in a sector like healthcare, which is so heavily regulated and essential. It's navigating serious regulatory heat, operational bumps, financial headwinds, things that clearly hit the stock price and created uncertainty.
Got it.
And this is why it really matters to you. Buffett stepping in provides this powerful counterpoint. It underscores a company's potential value, its recovery prospects, and reinforces the idea that it has a strong, lasting competitive edge in the healthcare market.
So understanding UNH gives you a window into the whole industry.
Exactly. For you, following a company like UNH isn't just about finance. It's a direct look into the complexities, the big shifts, the long-term trends happening across the entire healthcare system, a system that impacts absolutely everyone. This deep dive really shows how even the giants face constant change, new challenges, new opportunities, and how fast market perception can pivot on new information and strong signals.
So we've seen the immense scale of UnitedHealth Group, its bedrock role in U.S. healthcare, and then this stark contrast, its recent, very public struggles, versus the incredibly powerful signal sent by Warren Buffett's multi-billion-dollar investment.
A real juxtaposition.
It really is. So thinking about everything we've discussed today, it leaves you with a question, doesn't it? What do you think is ultimately more powerful in shaping a company's path? Is it the immediate headlines, the short-term challenges that grab all the attention?
The noise.
Or is it the deep, long-term conviction of a major investor, someone looking past the current storm at the fundamental value underneath? It's this fascinating dance between fleeting market sentiment, that enduring business value, and of course the leadership needed to navigate it all in these huge, complex, vital organizations.
Something to chew on.
Definitely. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep digging into what matters.